If you died tomorrow, your employer would post your job opening before your obituary was even printed. Your family would grieve you. Your friends would miss you. But your job would simply move on. Someone else would sit at your desk. Someone else would carry your responsibilities. And within a week, most people at that office wouldn't even notice the difference. So why are you killing yourself for it? This is the story of two dogs who worked on the same farm under the same sky for the same master. One gave everything he had and then some. The other gave exactly what was asked and not 1 ounce more. And what happened to each of them will change the way you think about work, loyalty, and the one person you keep forgetting to take care of, yourself. On a wide-open farm in rural Montana, a rancher named Thomas ran one of the most productive livestock operations in the county. He had hundreds of sheep, acres of land, and 2 border collie dogs he relied on to keep everything running. The first dog was Dog Ace. The second was Dog Duke. Dog Ace was the kind of dog that made you believe in hard work. From the moment the sun came up, he was moving, herding the sheep into formation, patrolling the fence lines, chasing off coyotes before they got close. He was fast, focused, and completely devoted. But Dog Ace didn't stop when the workday ended. While Dog Duke curled up near the barn each night and rested, Dog Ace stayed out in the cold, pacing the perimeter, watching the darkness, convinced that 1 more hour of effort would prove his worth. He told himself the same thing every night. Thomas sees how hard I work. Thomas knows I am the one he can count on. That has to mean something. And at first, it seemed like it did. Thomas noticed Dog Ace's extra effort and responded the way most bosses do. He gave him more responsibility, more territory to cover, more sheep to manage. Dog Ace took it all on without hesitation, tail up, eyes sharp, running himself into the ground with a kind of desperate pride. Dog Duke watched all of this quietly. One evening, he padded over to Dog Ace and said, "You are going to burn yourself out. Do your job, then rest. That is all Thomas actually needs from you."
Dog Ace shook him off. "You just don't push yourself hard enough," he said. "That is the difference between us." Dog Duke said nothing more. He went inside and slept. Months passed. Dog Duke stayed strong, steady, and healthy. He worked his hours, did his job well, and protected his energy like it was something valuable, because it was. Dog Ace, on the other hand, was running on fumes. His coat had lost its shine. His movements had slowed, but he kept going, kept pushing, kept telling himself that his sacrifice was building something, that Thomas must surely see it, must surely appreciate it. Thomas saw it. He just didn't feel what Dog Ace thought he felt. To Thomas, Dog Ace was not a loyal companion. He was a productive asset. And as long as the asset kept producing, Thomas had no reason to think about it beyond that. Then came the night that changed everything. It was late November, well below freezing, and Dog Ace was exhausted in a way that went past his muscles and into his bones. He should have been resting. Any reasonable creature would have been. But he was out on the far edge of the property doing his extra rounds when a large wolf came over the ridge. Dog Ace didn't hesitate. He went straight at it, barking, snapping, throwing his tired body between the wolf and the sheep. The wolf was bigger, and Dog Ace was not at his best, but he fought with everything he had left. He drove the wolf back over the ridge and saved every single animal in that pasture. And then he collapsed.
His front leg had snapped in the struggle. He lay in the frozen dirt, breathing hard, unable to stand. But underneath the pain, there was something else, a feeling almost like relief. Surely now Thomas would see. Surely this would be the moment that proved everything Dog Ace believed about loyalty and reward. Morning came. Thomas walked out across the frost-covered field and found Dog Ace on the ground. He crouched down and looked at the leg. He didn't call a vet. He didn't bring water. He stood up, pulled out his phone, and made a call. "Hey," he said, "I need a replacement working dog. Border Collie, trained, ready to go. Can you have one here by the morrow?" He hung up and walked back toward the house without looking back. Dog Ace lay there in the cold and watched him go.
The next morning, a young, healthy Border Collie trotted onto the property like he owned it. He was shown the fence lines, introduced to the sheep, and given Dog Ace's territory without a second thought. The farm didn't pause. The work didn't stop. Thomas didn't grieve. He had a field to manage. Dog Ace was sold that same afternoon. As he was loaded into a truck, Dog Duke came to the edge of the fence and watched. There was no judgment in his eyes, only something quiet and sad. He said softly, "Thomas never bought your loyalty, Ace. He bought your output. The moment your output stopped, your value to him was zero. I tried to tell you, you are not a partner here. You are a tool. And when a tool breaks, you don't repair it out of gratitude. You replace it." Dog Ace looked back at the farm one last time as the truck pulled away. The fields looked exactly the same. The sheep were grazing, the fences were standing. Everything was exactly as it had always been. The only thing missing was him. This is not just a story about two dogs on a farm. This is a motivational story about every person who has ever believed that giving more than they had would make them impossible to replace. It is a life lesson about what it really means to value yourself. If you drop everything for a job that would replace you before your desk went cold, you are not being loyal. You are being used. True loyalty runs in both directions, and when it only flows one way, it is not loyalty at all. It is just free labor dressed up in a story you tell yourself to feel better about the sacrifice. Dog Duke still works that farm today, healthy, steady, and valued, not because he gave everything, but because he never gave more than he had. He protected himself first, and that made him reliable for the long run. Value yourself first. Protect your health. Set your limits. Because the world will always take what you offer. It is up to you to decide how much that is. If this story hit something real for you today, like this video as your reminder to choose yourself. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever been Dog Ace? Share this with someone who needs to hear it right now. And subscribe to this channel for more motivational stories and life lessons that remind you what actually matters. You are not a tool. Start acting like it.